Hey guys, Mr. V here. Alright, I've got some random template stuff to teach you today. So a lot of people ask me, how do I get rid of these blue lines? So guys, you want to keep those blue lines because those are guides. If you notice on the cover of every professional magazine or book or publication, you have what's called a margin, and things would look pretty weird if they got too close to the edge. So all of your text and graphics, you want to keep inside of that of those blue lines. You do want to keep within that margin, and don't worry, because whenever you save out as a JPEG, those blue lines do not show up. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is bringing your photograph into the template. Now, as you guys know, I've been harping on this for the last few days. When you bring your photograph in, it needs to be a JPEG, and you want to, if you see these blue X marks going through your photograph, you need to hit the return key to place that image inside of your template. Now, the next thing you want to do is bring that photo into the bottom layer or the bottom folder. You'll probably have a folder that says background or something like that. And this is a pretty good example because sometimes when you bring in your photograph, it doesn't always match the size of your magazine cover. So I'm going to Command T on that layer, and I'm just going to scale that up until I don't see any more of the background. Sometimes you can see those little transparent checkers, and something like that I think is going to work pretty good. Everyone's photograph is going to be different, so you might have to change some of the colors of your text so that they'll show up a little bit better. You might have to move it around, and there's tricks that I can show you to get that to work. So if you're having trouble, just let me know. First, the next thing I want to show you is over here on the side. You can see that I have all of these different folders, okay? If Photoshop opens with all of those folders open, just go ahead and click this little triangle and collapse them all so that you can see all of them together. So you want to see all of them. You want to see your title, you want to see your background, and you want to see the folders for all of the modules, or actually the captions that are all in your template. So one of the easiest, best things that you can do to start off is just turn all of them off. Just turn off the visibility so that you only see one at a time. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Working on each of these folders one at a time, or each of these captions one at a time, will help you out a lot. So what I'm going to do is just start off with one of these captions, and as you can see here, I've got the name group or the name caption. And the cool part is if you just click on a caption and Command T the whole folder, it actually transforms all of those, and you can move them around all together. So let's say I want to move this around and put it in a certain area, and then I hit return so that it places it. So if you notice, if I open that folder, you can see there's actually individual parts that make up that caption. So I've got my name, and where it says International Man of the Year, or you can think of something kind of cool that goes with your name. And then of course down at the very bottom of that caption, you can see story by, and then you can put somebody's name. If it was like a story by you, then you would just put your name and then the photographer, and then that would basically be the name of whoever took your photograph. So it's just kind of like a cool way to give credit to whoever did that, and it makes it look more like a real magazine cover. So once again, I can collapse that folder and then turn off the visibility on and on. So working on those one at a time will definitely help you do that. All right, next thing is that when you're working with different fonts, you're going to notice that different fonts are all different sizes. So whenever you try to change a font, your text could end up bigger or smaller. So for instance, let's say if I change this font to this crazy font right here called, let's choose Beckman. Okay, so notice that did change the size, and my font is kind of bleeding over into the little part at the top where it says ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to highlight that, and I want to choose kind of a different size where I can basically size that up, bigger or smaller. Okay, and so that's a big part of changing these different text layers, is you want to just highlight those and go up and change the size of them. All right, and sometimes you might have to use the character styles. So that's one of the next things is how to change character style. So remember, character styles is that little button with the A over here on the side. But I want to show you today, if that ever disappears, you can go up to where it says where it says window. You want to click up here at the top where it says window and just check. You can check these on and off, and you can see some of them might already be checked on. You're going to look and see where it says character. So I'm going to check on character, and you notice as soon as I check that on, it goes right to my paragraph styles box. And so I can highlight the text, and let's just see what this font would look like if I changed the kerning. So we're going to set the kerning to 0, and automatically that spaced apart my text where it looks a little bit more nicer. But once again, there's no really right or wrong because each font is going to be different. You may want yours to be kerned more or less to match that. Next thing I want to show you is that you can actually change the colors of your font to match your clothes that you're wearing, or even like different parts of the picture. So let's put in my name here. Of course, it needs to have my name. So I'm going to put Josh Voiles. Okay, that looks pretty sweet. And I think I actually want to kern that down a little bit, make it look a little bit like it's tighter together. And now, instead of just having black text, I want to highlight that. I'm going to go to my color picker, and you can see while the text is highlighted, whatever color you choose, you'll notice it gives you this tool that looks like an eyedropper. And what that eyedropper can do is sample or literally suck up the color of wherever you click inside of the picture. So I want to go with kind of a dark color so that this shows up on the brighter background, but where it still kind of matches the colors in my photograph. And I color graded this photograph to be kind of a purplish, kind of a plum color in the darks, and kind of like yellow gold in the highlights. So if I sample any of those colors like in my jacket or my jeans, you can see it's giving me this purple color. And let's see what that looks like. See, I think that looks really nice. So you can actually choose colors for your text that match with your picture, with your background image. So just basically, that's really all I wanted to show you guys today. One other thing is just, when you're working with some of these subtitles, so let's go to the move tool so that I can get off of the layer with my name, and I'm going to click back on the T tool, and I'm going to click down here where it says International Man of the Year, and that's giving me my missing font error message. So I'm just going to go ahead and click replace, and so that replaced it with just a generic font that I do have installed on this computer. And let's go in here and let's pick something a little more bold. I guess we'll try we could try that same font actually. How about that, Beckman? And that looks pretty good, and we can see it's on white, and so that doesn't look too bad. Maybe we can sample a different color for that, and that looks a little nicer. Sometimes you just have to play around. You could even add shadow to your text if it's hard to see. And so basically what I want to show you guys is that sometimes you have to move stuff around so that you can see if it looks better. And one of the things I might want to do is go ahead and turn off this layer that says story by. So we're going to turn that off just for a second. Actually, how about we just Command T it and transform that to where we can move it down. So you see, sometimes you can move these things around, and you just have to play with them, guys. That's really all my point is. And so International Man of the Year, that's kind of long. So I think what I'm going to do is in between where it says International and Man, I'm going to space that down where man goes on the second line. And I think I'm going to bring of the onto that second line as well. And then I'll put the word year on the third line. So you see how I did that? And maybe actually white would look better. Maybe black will look better. Actually, black looks pretty good. And so you're basically just experimenting with the colors. You're experimenting with the fonts. But not only that, you're experimenting with how many lines of text there are. So at first, this International Man of the Year was 2 lines of text. Now I've changed it into 1, 2, 3 lines of text, and I moved this story by part down a little bit further. So that's basically all I wanted to show you guys, is that you are changing the settings with the kerning, you're changing the lines of text, you're editing lines of text, and really guys, you're not really gonna know exactly how it's going to look until you copy and paste your own captions that you wrote yourself into this template. All right guys, so just continue to work with colors and fonts and sizes, and let me know if you need any help today. Thanks guys, God bless.